In this episode of the podcast, we answer the question, should you apply for a show if you're not sure if the schedule works for you in your life plans? Welcome to the How to Get on Reality TV podcast with Dan Giesling, where I answer your reality TV casting questions once a week. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. I want to thank all the new listeners that have come in as a response to the last two episodes. We mixed it up a little bit, and we had a chance to listen to Jordan Parhar's casting story from Big Brother Canada. He did an awesome job. Really thankful for him to come out and share his story. And from the feedback from you guys, a lot of you guys enjoyed that. But this week we're switching back to the Q&A format, business as usual. And I think from time to time, we'll continue to bring special guests on like that every now and then. But I wanted to get back into the questions from you guys. We have a really great question this week from Carly. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know, if you guys are just starting out the casting process and you need your hand held from A to Z and you want me to do it for you, I have a complete video course that takes you through how to create your story all the way through what to expect through casting and different things to prepare yourself for that. You can check it out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video, and you can check out all the information regarding the online video course there. Once again, it's howtogetonrealitytv.net/video. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this week's question from Carly, which is all about trying to figure out whether or not you should apply for reality TV based on what's going on in your life.
Hey Dan, my name's Carly. I'm a relatively new listener to your podcast, and first off, I just wanted to say great job with the podcast itself and with your website. I love all the great advice that you have to offer for all of us listeners. Getting down to the nitty-gritty, I'm really interested in submitting a video audition for the upcoming season of a certain reality TV show, and this would actually be my first time applying. However, I'm currently in my last year of chiropractic college, and what that means is that my school requirements, my internship requirements that I have to fulfill in order to graduate would unfortunately prevent me from being available during the time that the show is scheduled to be filming. So my question to you is, knowing full well that I wouldn't be able to fully commit to this season, and this being my first time applying, should I go ahead and submit a video to test out my casting story and see if it actually gets me a callback? Or should I wait, focus on creating a video for the next season of the show when I'll actually be able to commit to filming? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks again, Dan, and take care.
Well, first off, Carly, welcome to the show. I'm glad that you found it. However, you did find it. I appreciate all the kind words. That's great to hear that someone, just recently found the podcast and you're finding it very helpful in the website and everything. So thank you for that. But let's go ahead and jump into your question. So you want to know, okay, so here's Carly, it's going through medical school. She knows there's some big things coming up right when the reality show she wants to go on starts to film. So that's a huge question that needs to be answered. But one of the most important things you said is that this is your first time applying. So we're going to go through the risk and reward of applying for a show that you can't get on, meaning that in the event that the producers say, yes, we want you in the show, you're going to say, well, look, I got this going on. I can't do it this year. So really what it comes down to is how confident you feel in the process. And Carly, going through the first time, to be honest, you shouldn't feel confident at all. It's something that I'm guessing you've never done before, because that's what you told me, looking into a camera, looking someone in the face and telling them why you'd be great for a TV show. So my first inclination is to tell you, okay, prepare for this like you are to get on the show. So give it your best effort in the audition video, prepare, create your story, get ready for the semifinal interview, and then see what happens, because a lot of things can change. And I've talked to a lot of people and helped a lot of people through the process, and sometimes when people say, hey, even if I make it on this season, or if I get the nod this season, I'm not going to be able to make it. And my question to you is that really the case? Now, I know in your case, it sounds like you have some medical things going on and you have like internships, but really, if the show that you've always wanted to be on comes to you, and after you've gone through the process, which you're going to find out is a long and it's going to take a lot of energy to go through that process, if they come to you and say, yeah, we want you on the show, are you really going to turn it down? So if you are really going to turn it down, which I'd have a hard time believing a lot of people are going to do that. Some people are, like yourself. You've got, I'm guessing you've been in university for a very long time, and it'll probably throw things out of whack. So I can understand that. But you just need to be prepared. These are the things you need to be prepared for in the event you move through casting. Number one, I'm guessing you're going to be pitching yourself as a medical student or a doctor. So when they find out that you're not a doctor yet, or you're not the medical certification yet, the questions are going to come. When do you graduate? Are you going to be able to move your graduation around? And are you going to be willing to do that? And so that's when you have to really, those are the questions that you're going to get at some point in casting as you move forward, and that's what you need to be honest with about. And just so you know, if you're honest about those questions and you say, hey, I'd love for you to come on the show, but we foresee this medical, your internship being a problem, are you willing to reschedule that? And that's the point in casting where you can't fabricate, you can't stretch, because if you say, yes, I'm willing to negotiate it or willing to push it, and then that time comes and you say, no, I don't want to do it, well, then all of a sudden, you've just lied to casting in the worst way possible. A lot of people's, the whole operation depends on you being willing to put yourself in a position to be whisked away, or shoot on the shooting schedule for a month, 3 months, however long it is. So that's the point in time where it's going to happen, and you just need to be prepared for when the rubber meets the road and they ask you, hey, what are you going to do? We really want you on the show, or we really want to move you on, but we can see this being a problem. And if you hesitate and say, well, all of a sudden it's not the right time, and that's okay. But the good thing is you can get experience up until that time. But when that question comes, you got to be honest about it. If you really aren't going, if you're not willing to delay your schooling for a year, and that's fine. So that's the risk and reward. The one thing you can't do, one thing I'd strongly recommend not doing, is make sure you don't lie and say, yeah, I'm going to push it off, and then say you get to a finals process and you get on the show and you say, no, I'm not going to push it off. That's going to burn a lot of people, and you want to avoid that. So when it gets to the tough part, when the question comes, be very forthright, because I actually went through the same thing myself, and in the first time I applied to get on reality TV, I made it all the way to the finals, and I had other obligations, which, by the way, Carly, it's all written in my story, how a normal guy got cast on reality TV, which I'm going to send to you, the digital copy free, since you asked, got your question on the show. So what happened to me is I made it to finals, and they're like, hey, can you come this week? And I'm like, I got this planned. I went back and forth for 24 hours, and I just told them no. And of course, when I did that, I was concerned. I was scared. I'm like, I just told casting no. I'm never going to make it on the show. They're never going to bring me back again. These are all thoughts in my head, and rest assured, as long as you're forthright and you do a great job in casting, that's not going to matter. But just don't lie to casting in that way, because it's going to hurt you down the road. But that's a great question. I'm sure, a lot of people have a similar question, Carly, like, hey, I'm supposed to graduate, or hey, I signed up for a 6-month job during this time and I can't get away. It really comes down, whether you're like Carly in a medical class situation or you have something else, you got to ask yourself, if you're presented the ticket to go on the show you want, are you really going to turn it down? And if you are, then you need to be forthright about it. If you're not, if you would turn it down, then say, yeah, I'm willing to throw away, a year or two of my life to get on the show in terms of scheduling classes. I can't answer that question for you, but that's the question for everyone that may have a scheduling issue with the show. And if that is the case, don't worry about it. I would recommend, yes, go apply, gain some casting experience, see how well you do. I would even say there's a little less pressure for you this time applying, because you really can't go on the show if you are picked. So you may even do better, and either way, you're going to be highly sensitive and highly aware of everything going on, especially since it's your first time. So Carly, that's my recommendation to you, is be forthright when you get later in the process, but go through the process, because it's going to help you get experience, understand what's going on, and also tweak your story. But Carly, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to send you a free digital copy of my book, How a Normal Guy Got Cast on Reality TV. You can read through my story and how I went through that same question you're going through right now. But thank you so much for submitting your question. If you want to get on the show just like Carly, you can submit a voicemail question at howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask. There's a mobile app. You can do it from your tablet. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from your browser, but just leave a voicemail and ask your best question. And I like Carly. I like when people get very specific and say, hey, I have a medical, I got to finish up my classes, I got an internship, because that a lot of people can relate to that instead of just saying, hey, I have other obligations. Because I probably, to be honest, I wouldn't answer the question because it wasn't specific enough. But Carly did a great job, and best of luck in casting, Carly. And thanks for asking the question. So that wraps up another episode of the podcast. Once again, a big thank you to Carly for asking the question. If you guys need some help in the casting process and you're ready to get going and you want me to guide you through the whole thing through a video course, it'd be like you sitting down in Reality TV Casting 101, and I'd be at the front of the class. That's a little scary teaching you, but you can check it out at howtogetonrealitytv.net/video. All the information is there, talking about the 4 different class modules and the worksheets to go along with it. Walking your hand through the park, showing you exactly what to expect each step along the way. You can check that out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video. And thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this helps. I know there's a lot of Canadian shows casting right now, a big one in particular. So I hope this helps you guys get going. And don't wait. Get your stuff together, get your story together, and put yourself in a position to be successful. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next Monday.